You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, July 15th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. The political commentator Cordell Riley tonight welcoming the posthumous pardon of Reverend Charles Vinton Monk, who was jailed 116 years ago. As Tarai Trott tells us, the pardoning of Reverend Monk at the request of Premier David Burt shines a spotlight on the island's darkest days of injustice.
In expressing approval of Governor John Rankin's decision to grant a posthumous pardon to Reverend Charles Vinton Monk, the political commentator Cordell Riley stressing that when it comes to an injustice, there is no time limit.
Well, I don't think you can put a time frame on restoring justice. And this is basically what's happened here. It's restorative justice. So whether it was 10 years ago or 100 years ago, it is important to, particularly the families, that this be done.
Reverend Monk came to the island from America in the late 19th century to take up a post with the AME Church. Appalled by the treatment of black workers on the island, especially black Jamaican laborers imported to work at the Royal Naval Dockyard, he wrote about their working conditions in a newspaper, which resulted in the authorities charging him with criminal libel and him being put on trial in the early 1900s. Reverend Monk was faced with a number of challenges. No lawyer on the island would agree to defend him, and when he tried to bring in a top lawyer from the Caribbean, local authorities blocked him, forcing him to defend himself. The fairness of the trial, considered to be a kangaroo court, was questionable after it emerged that his trial judge, then Chief Justice Sir Brownlow Gray, was the father of the prosecutor, Sir Reginald Gray. Monk was eventually convicted and sent to prison.
Is it safe to say that the injustice that was inflicted upon Reverend Monk 116 years ago has no chance of returning to Bermuda today?
No, we still see some elements. I mean, I think what he was doing was protesting against the treatment of Jamaican workers and the treatment that they were having. We still see in this day and age, particularly under global capitalism, where foreign workers can be exploited. We see it in the downward spiral in wages.
Asked if Governor Rankin, who is the only person with constitutional power to grant a pardon, had much of a choice given the request came from the Premier, Mr. Riley reacting.
Well, of course he has a choice. We've seen that with legislation. I think what was a little bit concerning to me that it took quite a long time for him to come to his decision. It took over a year. The request was made last June. I think that was for me, the disconcerting thing is that it was the governor who's given the pardon as opposed to the premier himself or the prime minister himself.
The prime minister, you say?
Yes. But my point was, of course, that it should have been David Burt as prime minister giving the pardon, as opposed to the premier having to ask the governor to look into it.
Mr. Riley believes the Premier's lack of constitutional power to issue pardons speaks to the island's continued colonial status. And he points out a future Prime Minister of an independent Bermuda would not have to make such a request.
We wouldn't have to ask. It will be something that we would determine internally. It's not something that he had to investigate because he's not familiar with Reverend Monk. He's not familiar with what happened.
And that was Tarai Trott reporting. In other news, the Bermuda Tourism Authority has come out in support of legislation aimed at making it easier for super yachts to visit the island and remain here for longer periods of time. It comes after the Progressive Labour Party government introduced the bill entitled the Super Yachts and Other Vessels Miscellaneous Act 2019, which allows for new allowances for the size of super yachts, among other benefits. Tarai Trott asked the BTA's Glenn Jones if the presence of more super yachts would result in a boost to the island's tourism sector as it did for the America's Cup.
Well, I think it will be a little bit different from the America's Cup in that it won't be a large collection of super yachts at one time, but sort of a sustained flow of super yachts for a long time into the future, we hope. We already know the seasons of vessel traffic in and out of Bermuda being mainly in the springtime, so we would expect the amount of traffic that is over 24 meters to actually grow in the future, and for those super yachts to stay for a longer period of time. And the reason they would stay longer is because now they would have the ability to allow their vessel to be chartered while it's in our waters. That is something that didn't exist before, but did exist during the America's Cup, and that's why we saw super yachts here for a much longer period of time. So in that sense, we do expect it to be like the America's Cup, where there are super yachts here for more weeks out of the year. But I wouldn't expect to regularly see that volume because that was unique. That was a major event.
You said in your press release that super yachts will be critical to the island's tourism economy in the future. This new market must really be a game changer.
Yeah, it is, because it has such a major impact on visitor spending. And of course, that's one of the numbers that we look at very, very closely. One super yacht in 1 week could generate $127,000 into our economy. That's a large amount of spending from a relatively small number of visitors. So you start to see how that makes a positive impact on so many people across the tourism economy, whether they are florists, whether they are transportation providers, whether they are chefs. And even it starts to affect businesses that typically we would think are outside of the tourism economy.
Coming up, a free night stay in Bermuda, a missing teen, all the latest weather news and more. Stay with us.
Time in a bad mind, wanna run things every time. I don't have flex, no girl vex. What they doing? Follow put your hands on again. Now me no stop love how the girl them flex. The hot clothes I make a next girl flex. Me no stop love how the woman them a flex. No stop live big I make a next girl. Me all a walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, tell me where you get it from. Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa ram pa, sing along. I would like to be the only in your life. I want to be the only man, real quality. I wanna make sure.
You may not be a movie star.
When we say, oh God bless, on the nose rest.
Yeah, we not have fun. Louis V don't no fat farm. With smarty that or the that.
Oh man, you're getting paid, not playing. Pushing Escalade and rocking Prada. No more drama with your day. I'm getting paid, not playing.
Long jumper Tyrone Smith has earned his place among Bermuda's true sporting icons. He has flown the Bermuda flag at 3 Olympic Games, reaching the long jump finals in London 2012. He was also a finalist at the Commonwealth Games in 2010 and won gold medals at the CAC Games in 2010 and the CAC Championships in 2011. Born in Bermuda in 1984, Tyrone has lived most of his life in the U.S. He holds the Bermuda national record in long jump at 8.34 meters and was named Bermuda Athlete of the Year for 3 years in a row from 2012. He'll need no introduction for Bermudians following the Pan Am Games.
At ProServe, we've got mail. Did you know at ProServe, we handle over 150,000 mail pieces per month. We have a full mail handler's license, secure, centrally located facilities, state-of-the-art digital printing, insertion, franking, and tracking systems. Even full mailroom operations management, along with experienced staff and the reliability to get your job done right. So whether the job is large or small, by hand or sprint pickup delivery, daily, weekly, monthly, or a one-off project, we've got you covered from start to finish with email confirmation. At ProServe, we've got mail. Call 295-7619 or visit proserve.bm and let's get it started.
Welcome back. Well, hotels in Bermuda are offering a free night stay in July. You heard correctly, a free night stay in Bermuda in July. The promotion is being arranged with the support of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. Gary Moreno sought to find out the reason behind that move, given that it is the height of the visitor arrival season.
Based on the advertisement for the promotion, there are 9 properties partnering with the Bermuda Tourism Authority on this initiative, with starting prices ranging from a low of $275 per night up to $675 per night. We called around to a number of the participating properties to find out why this promotion at this time of the year. The responses were varied, and those who spoke with us did so on condition of anonymity. A spokesperson at one property told us bookings were strong and that they were actually participating because they are partnering with the BTA. Another operator told us their June and July numbers were a little better than last year's and that the BTA initiative was helping to drive business to their property. When asked to provide figures in support, the response was that those numbers are gathered by the BTA and will not be known until the end of July, which is when the promotion finishes. However, a spokesperson for another participating property lamented occupancy has been quite slow for all properties and the BTA plan is aimed at providing much-needed assistance. It had been suggested to us that the BTA was footing the bill for the free night, but we've been subsequently informed the authority has paid only for the advertising. The free night stay, we're told, is being absorbed by the properties. In fact, a spokesperson for the BTA indicated the organization is not underwriting this promotion and is simply offering marketing support. The initiative was planned by hotel partners in the spring and launched this summer. We offered support in the form of digital, email, and web marketing. Bermuda Broadcasting News has reached out to Tim Morrison, president of the Bermuda Hotel Association, for comment and are waiting to hear back from him. Meanwhile, Carnival Cruise Lines announced its largest Bermuda season ever, scheduled for 2019-2020, with more than 40 voyages visiting the island, including 8-week cruises departing from Baltimore and Charleston next year. 6 different Carnival ships, Carnival Breeze, Magic, Pride, Radiance, Sunshine and Sunrise, will offer 4 to 9-day Bermuda cruises from 5 ports along the eastern seaboard between now and next year. BTA CEO Kevin Dallas saying, "We're very glad to see the increased number of calls from Carnival Cruise Line and its positive response to our request to deploy ships from Southeast U.S. ports. This allows a variety of visitors to experience our island." Mr. Dallas noted responsibility for contracts with cruise lines lies with the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. He added, "We've also successfully accomplished extending the traditional summer season with at least 5 cruises slated for next spring and more than a dozen scheduled after Labor Day 2020. Elsewhere, the BTA is yet to provide figures on the return on investment for the ITU Triathlon event staged here back in April, at least according to Tourism Minister Zane De Silva.
Funny you should mention that. I've asked for that and I've pressed for it. So as soon as I do get those numbers, I'll make sure that I share them with you.
Any reason as to why the delay from the Bermuda Tourism Authority?
I'm not sure why there is a delay. If there is a delay, you will know that I'm a new minister. So I don't know what the legacy is or what the normal is for receiving this report, but I've asked for it as well. And I'm pressing for it.
The BTA has, however, informed us that they're going through the standard data and fact checks as per last year, and once that data becomes available, it will be made known to us. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Gary. Meantime, police need the public's assistance in locating 15-year-old Brittany Taylor. He was last seen in the Bakery Lane, Pembroke area last week, Wednesday, the 10th of July. The young man is described as dark complexion, 5 feet 6 inches tall, of slim build, weighing approximately 130 pounds, with twists in his hair, and is known to frequent the Crawl, Dub City, My Lord's Bay, Hamilton Parish area. So far, efforts by police to locate him have been unsuccessful. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is encouraged to call the main police telephone number at 295-0011 as soon as possible. Turning to weather news, sunny breaks with a few possible showers for our Tuesday. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and we're back to Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. We do have a few opportunities of showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of days, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any widespread storms really impacting the region, just kind of that hit or miss stuff that we typically see this time of the year in the summer. So looking at the big picture right now, we have a boundary not too far to our north, and there are a couple of showers there, and yeah, as we head into tonight, we could have a pop-up shower or two, but the trend over the next couple of days, again, is not going to be any widespread precipitation. We'll get these hit or miss showers and thunderstorms. They're in and they're out pretty quickly. Temperatures right now sitting in the low 80s, so it's pretty warm outside. Humidity right around 75%. The winds are coming in out of the southwest, 5 to 10 knots, so not much of a breeze out there to help you out. The water temperature's at 83 degrees. Waves inside of the reef, no issues, right around 1 foot. And then outside of the reef, we're looking at waves between 2 and 4 feet. So we don't have any marine warnings to fill you in on this evening here, so we're in good shape there. That's what we like to see. We have our high tide coming in just before 9 o'clock tonight, and then our low tide coming in early Tuesday morning. And as we dig a little bit deeper into the numbers here, well, yesterday was a dry day. Looking at the month of July so far, these stats come from the Bermuda Weather Service. They're always putting out some great information for us. July rainfall over 2 inches. And then as we look at the year-to-date rainfall, we've had over 31 inches of rain so far this year. So we're actually still running above normal for rainfall. For the entire year, normal to date, close to 29 inches. Now, for tonight, it's going to be warm and muggy outside. Again, a few pop-up showers are possible, nothing significant. And then over the next couple of days, again, we'll have those pop-in, pop-out showers. It's not going to be an all-day rain event. I know this icon looks a little gloom and doom for you here, but there will be a shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, it's just humid and warm with temperatures sitting in the mid-80s as we head into tomorrow. If you're doing any traveling, here's a look at the Caribbean outlook. Also looking at that humidity in places like Jamaica, 90 degrees, Barbados and Trinidad, also some showers and thunderstorms there. No tropical development right now, but there are some states into parts of the central U.S. that are dealing with what's left of Barry. You'll remember it was a hurricane over the weekend. There have been a few spots that have picked up over a foot of rain from that, but no issue for us here locally. Here's a look at a few other destinations if you're doing some traveling into Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms possible. Otherwise, the majority of the day does look nice and dry. And the trend heading into the later half of the week is, well, we keep the warm temperatures and mainly dry conditions Thursday right into the start of the weekend.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day my son and I joined a speed sliding competition. And as I came down the water slide, I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool. And I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with the reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
And you're watching the Monday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, almost $2.5 million spent by the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission, and still little progress with appointing a new executive board. OBA MP Michael Dunkley unveiled that figure, which was purportedly spent between April 2018 and June this year. Mr. Dunkley believes the government is slacking on the development of this industry in Bermuda to the detriment of the island's tourism product and public purse.
Of what I found is from April 1st of 2018 to the end of June 2019, over $2.5 million has been spent by the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission, and that's a significant amount of money. What I'm disappointed to learn is there seems to be a glaring lack of progress for the investment that we have made in the Casino Gaming Commission. And why do I say that? Well, I guess you could look at it on three main fronts. First and foremost, the executive director appears to have been made no progress in filling that position. The minister did say that in March that they were going to hire a recruiter to find a director. They decided to go a different way, and a recruiter wasn't hired. They said they're going to do it in-house. The minister did say there was a candidate, but then finalized anything. So there's been a significant period without an executive director at the helm. We still see at this point that no regulations have been tabled, and the minister admitted that they still haven't made the progress they have to have on those. I'm at a loss to understand why that's taking so long, because I know in 2017 those regulations were pretty much finished by the former committee and what they were doing. And then you go on, another big issue is with correspondent banking. It was revealed that the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission has spent tens of thousands of dollars to hire a consultant to deal with the matter of correspondent banking, and we're no further along at this point in time. And so we've been paddling, it seems, around in circles. Very little has taken place, and an initiative that is important for tourism is WALLET. And I think the government, PLP government, got off to a poor footing when they interfered with the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission back in the late 2017, 2018, and we're having a hard time recovering from that.
And Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news after the break. Stay with us.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
And turning to sports, Bermuda's under-20 women's national goes down in their CONCACAF under-20 women's championship. Owner Kai Waldron won 2 heats competing in horse racing in Canada, and Jessica Lewis claimed 3 gold medals competing in the Ontario Track and Field Championships. Earl Basden has these details and much more in tonight's sports report.
Bermuda kicked off their women's under-20 CONCACAF championships, going down 2-0 to host Guyana. Bermuda coach Nikita Robinson says Bermuda did not put away their chances.
Tough loss tonight to Guyana. Going down 2-0. They got 2 opportunities and they capitalized on them. We were by far the better team. We played some attractive football at times. We just didn't score our chances. And so if you don't score goals, you don't win games. The center back was pretty talented. She was strong. She was solid. We worked the ball well, moving the ball, playing out of the back. At times, I think we were looking to play the final ball when we could have played to the midfield, and they were just picking the ball up and sending it back to us. They weren't a bad team, but we were definitely the better team.
Kaiwan Waldron competed in the Quebec Regional Horse Fair Circuit racing in Canada. Taking to the track for 2 heats, Waldron would end up in the winner's circle on both occasions. He describes the first race.
You know, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous, but you know, that comes with the game. The trip worked out great, actually. You know, I got to leave off. My horse had a lot of gate speed. Took the front, and I didn't look back from there. Went from wire to wire. She's a very nice mare. Her name was She Makes Me Feel Unreal. I got the win from post 3.
Meanwhile, Bermuda dressage rider Maya Dasalavera competed in the Children of America's Dressage Invitational in Rhode Island. Riding a barred pony, Dasalavera secured first place in the freestyle test and 5th in her preliminary test, thus giving her an overall ranking of 3rd place. Jessica Lewis competed in the Ontario Athletics Open and Under-20 Track and Field Championships. Lewis powered her way to victory in the women's 800-meter wheelchair race, stopping the clock in a time of 2:05.49. Lewis would then win the women's 100-meter wheelchair race, crossing the line in a time of 17:03. With a time of 1:04.15, Lewis closed out the meet, winning the women's 400-meter wheelchair race. The third Pan American Kung Fu Championships took place in California, where members of the Bermuda Sanshal Association took part. At the conclusion of the two-day competition, Bermuda picked up 2 gold medals and 5 silver medals. Adding to the opening day gold medal count was Talia Iris, who won the women's open hand gold medal. She would then win the silver medal in the women's straight sword division. On day 1, Garen Wilkinson picked up a silver medal competing in the Northern Open Hand Form 40 to 59 age group division with a score of 8.68 points. Wilkinson won gold in the flexible weapons division. Ken Payne Jr. picked up a silver medal during the Northern Open broadsword competition. The Bermuda team competing in the Northern Shylon division finished second overall with 8.73 points. Kaylin Cox picked up a silver medal in the long weapon competition. He also won a silver medal in the fighting set. The 2019 Optimist World Championships in Antigua saw sailors compete on day 2 of the championship fleet. In the Gold Fleet, Sebastian Kemp currently sits in 5th place with 80 net points. Christian Eben is in 11th with 115 net points. The Silver Fleet sees Magnus Ringstad currently 14th place and 79th overall with 190 net points. Laura Hotman is in 50th place in the fleet and 114th overall with 273 net points. Nicole Stovall is sitting in 5th place in the Emerald Fleet and 197th overall with 268 net points. Maxwell Curtis and his crew, Stefan Ferbert, raced to victory in the Lawrence Stickers Hendrickson's Comet Race off the Mid-Atlantic Boat Club yesterday. Curtis sailed to victory in 2 of the 4 races sailed, finishing second twice for 4 net points. Quentin Simons and Greg Proctor finished second with 6 net points, while Gledwin Lambert and his crew, Stephen Mabry, finished third with 8 net points. Southampton Rangers retained the Western County Cup following their second round 9-wicket victory over PHC at the PHC Stadium on Saturday. Batting first, PHC were bowled out for 62. Ellsworth Bean was their top scorer with 23. Lamont Brangman was the pick of the Southampton Rangers bowlers with figures of 6.1 overs, 3 maiden, 4 for 10. In reply, Southampton Rangers scored 63 for 1 in 9 overs. Ricardo Brangman was the top scorer with 39 not out. Turning to Premier Division 2020 action yesterday, St. David's Cricket Club won by 43 runs over Flats Victoria. St. David scored 154 for 8 in their 20 overs and restricted Flats Victoria to 111 for 4. Southampton Rangers won by 8 wickets over the St. George's Cricket Club. St. George's scored 125 for 7, with Southampton Rangers scoring 126 for 2. In First Division 50 over action, Willacotts picked up a 26-run victory over PHC. Willacotts were bowled out for 231 and then bowled PHC out for 205. Daniel Phillips was crowned the European Junior Tennis Tour champion following his doubles win during the VLTC Euro Under-14 tournament in Malta. Phillips teamed up with Uwe Dial from Belgium in the doubles final, and they defeated Clemente Berzant and Ines Fernandez, the number 1 seed from France, in straight sets 6-4, 6-4. The Bermuda Powerboat Association hosted the Spanish Point Boat Club National Championships, which saw one 30-minute race in the Great Sound. David Sally and Matthew Smith won the A-class race, while Quincy Darling and Ty Bean took the checkered flag in the B-class. Aaron Sims and Stephen Bridges won the S-class race for the day. Bermuda National Mountain Bike Champion Robin Horsfield competed 5 of the 7 scheduled laps during the Under-23 World Cup mountain bike event in France before being pulled from the race due to the UCI 80% rules. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Guys, come on! Guys! Hey, guys! Oh my God!
Well, that's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. Good night.